gentlemen, it's been a couple of years to get us to this point. It's been a tremendous amount of work, but we are privileged and honored today to have representatives from the Middle States Association who will do a final presentation. But before that, I'd like to give a round of applause to Mr. Eric Lynch for getting us to this point today. So Mr. Lynch really helped to coordinate all of this while still managing his busy day. But without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Joseph Good from Middle States, who will give us our final report. Mr. Good?
Good morning. Just a quick housekeeping note. The way this process goes is I have information I'm going to read. Once I'm finished reading that, myself and my team, we will leave. We won't stick around for any discussions. That time is for you to reflect with each other on the process we went through. So we're not trying to be rude. That's how it works. We finish and we get out of your hair. I didn't want to do that. It's revolting on me. First thing I'd like to do is introduce my team, and they're going to stand up since they won't sit up front. I have Dr. Jose Aviles. Without them being part of this, I'd still be working. Okay, we'll get started. On behalf of the Middle States Association of Colleges and Schools and the Middle States Validation Team, we thank the staff, students, community, and administration of the Windsor School for providing us an opportunity to experience the exceptionally high quality and creative educational program that exists at your school. We encountered a culture and climate this week that is compassionate and caring, one that embraces each student as an individual learner with individual needs. Staff, parents, and students alike express that they are part of a familiar learning community. The school and its leadership are to be commended for taking on the initiative to engage in the accreditation process. Undertaking the completion of the comprehensive self-assessment is a daunting task which was added to people's already full plates. Dr. Chris Lynch and Dr. Camille Sorciello put the plan in motion and were assisted by Eric Lynch in preparing for our visit and are to be commended for their efforts. We'd like to give a special recognition to Simone Aduccio, who became our angel of the morning and got us off on a good start each day. The internal coordinator, Eric Lynch, along with the planning team and subcommittees, took on the task and provided the energy level needed to be successful. The protocol enables you and us to evaluate all aspects of your school. We've been warmly received and welcomed into your family. Open dialogue has taken place, and you have provided us an opportunity to experience the positive culture that exists at the Windsor School, which is greatly appreciated. The staff we encountered are completely invested in the students and are passionate about providing them with as many opportunities for growth and academic success as they can. We spent a great deal of time engaging in dialogue with representatives of all stakeholder groups. Students, staff, and parents describe the school as a family, one that takes the time to personalize the educational process for each student and values them as individuals. Students feel safe at school, welcomed by everyone in an accepting environment. Students express that they are supported by their peers and experience the family culture that has been established within the school. Staff and students use the term family to describe the school. Students express that the staff and what they offer and support are one of the best things about the school. Your decision to embark on the journey through the Designing Our Future protocol and taking on the work associated with it highlights your determination to improve on an already dynamic and successful program. The validation team has witnessed the value you place on the positive culture you've created, and we feel it will continue to be the standard for the school. The trust the leadership had in the internal coordinator was well placed. All staff are to be commended for the work done in ensuring that all the elements of the protocol were appropriately addressed and completed. I will be sharing observations and perceptions with you that validate the vision you have developed for your future and the pathways you have identified to achieve success. There are defined end results that will result in the improvement of student performance and enhancing personal growth opportunities. You have determined where you want to go and how you're going to get there. We observed that representative groups were active participants in the process and in the development of goals, action plans, and objectives to support the Designing Our Future protocol. A periodic review timeline with designated benchmarks that include regular review and modification to action plans and objectives as needed will create a living document subject to change. While at the school, the validation team members engaged in numerous discussions with staff, students, administrators, and parents. We have determined that the process encompassed involvement by representatives of all the stakeholder groups. The focus became development and implementation of plans that only work to enhance student growth and success, but at the same time preserving the culture that exists at the school with a faith-forward emphasis. Analysis of student, parent, and staff input and analysis of available data was used to create goals and objectives that would be measurable and attainable. We found that parents and teachers are proud of their students' success. Students are very respectful of their teachers and know they have someone to go to when in need. Your students are courteous and provide a clear picture of the school's culture. When we asked the students what were some of the best things about the school, each group said it was the quality of teachers and the support they provide. Parents told us they appreciate the open lines of communication and the learning each child receives. They also were very pleased with the school staff and leadership and the progress that has been continued. They all indicated they are happy that they chose to send their children to the Windsor School. Excuse me. The task of completing the self-study, along with developing objectives and action plans for the validation process, was important to the success of the initiative. A regularly scheduled review of the action plan, goals, and objectives will be key to the evaluation process. Keeping all stakeholders actively involved will also be important to the success of the plans. The planning team should continue to take an active role in the periodic review of action plans, establishing timelines for completion and evaluation of data, and rewriting the action plan as necessary. It will be important to include the students and parents as part of the planning team and subcommittees in order to give them a voice as stakeholders. Under the content of the plan, the written report to Middle States will contain a variety of detailed comments by the validation team that will address all of the required standards for accreditation, including mission, beliefs, objectives, and action plans. Today, I'll provide you a summary of some of those areas. The philosophy and mission statements of the school are, by design, broad and visionary. They state your mission, as stated in your mission statement, the Windsor schools are committed to creating a collaborative educational environment that nurtures each student's academic, social, and emotional and behavioral potential. The school endeavors to nurture the whole person by creating a challenging academic environment. The school community strives to graduate well-rounded students committed to success in whatever pathway they have chosen. The school recognizes that student success is a shared responsibility of students, teachers, and parents, and they are committed to developing the mind, talent, and character of all students by focusing on high expectations and personal and academic success. It indicates the development of student potential in terms of the mission and belief statements. The staff at Windsor School are committed to the whole student and who they are, not just what they learn. Belief statements are such that they express one's individual values and are generally viewed as a matter of faith with little factual basis. They provide the foundation of a strong planning ethic. As indicated in your documents, your belief statements are rooted in your commitment to leadership, service, integrity, and scholarship. They form the information we review contain a composite of personal views and values that collectively form the beliefs of the school and ultimately become the expression of your core ethical values. In our interviews with the students, staff, parents, and community members, it became clear to the validation team that stakeholders clearly understand and support what they believe and what they hold as important to the success of the school and its students and community. As Carl Bucher says, they may forget what you taught them, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. The belief statements written by the school fulfill the requirements of Middle States to include a set of values as part of the action plan. What we experienced this week evidences through observation and dialogue what the written statements say. Teachers care about their students' education and are passionate about what they do, and the students are equally passionate about the programs they have chosen. Students feel safe at school and express that they are being provided an excellent educational experience that provides a foundation for the future. This is a testament to your dedicated and caring staff. As Steve Jobs said, your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking, don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you'll know when you find it. The final written report to Middle States will include detailed information regarding specifics of the objectives and action plans. It will also contain observations and recommendations as they apply to each of the standards. The Designing Our Future protocol requires that the school identify 2 to 4 measurable performance and organizational goals. The Windsor Schools developed goals and objectives along with action plans that were approved by Middle States and meet the standards of the criteria for the objectives of the protocol. The objectives developed reflect the analysis of the results of student and staff surveys, input, and data gathered to be used in making the decision. Objectives are related to student performance and organizational outcomes. In listening to planning team members, it is evident that they had knowledge of and input into the process. Staff were updated through meetings and written communication. It will be important for the school to continue to involve staff and students and other stakeholders, ensuring that there is an ongoing reflection and change as needed. By doing this, you will ensure that everyone has ownership in the success of the plan and attainment of the goals. The school can strengthen the process by developing benchmarks for plan review. The plan is a living document and will need adjustment as outcomes are evaluated. There's an old Chinese proverb that says, if you're planning for a year, sow rice. If you're planning for a decade, plant trees. If you're planning for a lifetime, educate children. You know, in our discussions with students, staff, and other stakeholders, we find that the requirements of the Middle States for development of the action plans were met. The school has outlined specific outcomes indicated in the objectives submitted in the action plans. The goals and objectives are appropriate to the school. Because available data will continue to change, some measures may need to be adjusted to reflect current trends. In fact, you may find it necessary to actually change the original identified goals based on new data and information. We reviewed a large number of documents, had in-depth discussion, and observed the day-to-day operation of the schools in an effort to validate that the schools met all standards criteria. The administration is trusting in the staff's ability to complete the task. Adequate resources are allocated to support the educational programs. Discussion with parents and other community stakeholders also show support of the school. The school has in place the conditions which allow them to achieve their objectives. As I previously indicated, the written report will reflect each of the standards and the evidence supporting the recommendations of the validation team. The school maintains financial, facility, safety, and strategic plans, among others. School leaders have a single unique sense of responsibility for student success. The plan for communication among staff, the administration, students, and the community will be an important part of the continuing effort. Our team was pleased that the school's leadership adopted the Middle States accreditation process as a tool to develop foundational documents and a strategic plan used for introspection rather than a process for its own state. The validation team has determined that the school presently meets the 5 Middle States standards and presented evidence to support the school's initiative. We will make recommendations in the written report that can be used to strengthen various aspects of the school study. This team has also determined that the school has established conditions under which its objectives can be achieved. And I'm confident that these documents, the goals and action plans will survive beyond our visit. The school has several strengths that they can use to sustain growth. There are dedicated and willing staff, outstanding students who value their educational programs you have, and an administration open to change. At the conclusion of the visit, the team is asked to make an accreditation recommendation to the Middle States Commission on Secondary Schools based on evidence found during our review. The team has observed, interviewed, and documented information that leads us to the following conclusions. The school has developed appropriate objectives and action plans which are related to the information identified in the self-study and contain appropriate expected outcomes. The school has made informed decisions regarding the goals and objectives and has established conditions under which they can be achieved. The school is currently engaged in activities that have been working toward achieving the goals and objectives. The school has in place a system whereby the plans will ensure that the school will be able to continue the effort in the foreseeable future. We will be recommending to Middle States that accreditation be awarded to the Windsor School. We again thank you for your dedication and work and extended to us during our time here. I've had the privilege of working with outstanding educators who undertook the task of this validation and did so with professionalism and integrity. I thank them for their efforts. Since I've spoken so much about success, I would like to leave you a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. He defines success as to laugh often and much, to earn the appreciation of honest critics, and endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate beauty, to find the best in others, to leave this world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition. And to know and to know even one life has breathed easier because you lived.